prayer, Lord's Prayer and Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's see if I can get Gary on the phone.
He's already on there.
Oh, okay.
He's
Good
on.
deal.
Okay. So is there any additions, deletions, changes to the agenda?
Yes, ma'am, Mayor. One change to the agenda, we're going to pull agenda item number 2, and we're going to move the recommendation for the property and casualty insurance to September 10th meeting. We will still have time to review that. That'll give me some time to sit with each firm and go over their proposals. It was just too much for us to handle since we got them Thursday.
Okay. All right. So we're deleting item number 2
And that's
from,
only,
from today's special meeting. Is there anything else?
that's it.
Okay. All right. You know, I know we have a proclamation before us. Are we going to be able to have any of the linemen here? No? Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'll be more than happy to read the proclamation in recognition of Lineman Appreciation Day. Whereas America is powered by thousands of independently owned and operated electric generating facilities known as power plants that generate electric energy, and whereas those power plants are connected to a complex energy system of over 5 million lines of transmission and distribution lines that comprises the electric grid and delivers energy to homes and businesses, churches, hospitals, and schools across the country. And whereas the electric grid must be maintained in operation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year in rain, cold, hurricanes, and tornadoes, and must be capable of withstanding any hazards that occur. And whereas this system of electric lines is kept in a high state of readiness by 114,000 dedicated and skilled men and women known as electric line workers who work for all the independently owned and operated utilities across America. And whereas electric line workers are a cohesive group that must work as highly effective teams in very hazardous situations under very rigorous conditions to respond to disaster areas, to restore powers to victims' homes, and has been ranked as one of the 10 most dangerous jobs in which 30 to 60 people lose their lives annually. And whereas the line workers from Clewiston Utilities are particularly dedicated and hardworking men who risk their lives daily working in extremely dangerous situations to ensure that reliable electric energy is delivered to our homes and businesses, who have most recently responded to the Hurricane Irma event in Clewiston, as well as to Hurricane Sandy in November of 2012 to assist the local utility in restoring vital energy and earn the respect and admiration of those victims. And where it is most fitting and proper that the City of Clewiston set aside a special day to recognize and honor these dedicated professionals, we, the Mayor and the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, and on behalf of America's sweetest town, do hereby proclaim August the 26th, 2018, and every August 26th thereafter as Lineman Appreciation Day in the City of Clewiston, and call upon the citizens of Clewiston to be particularly mindful of the dangerous work done under exacting conditions, day in and day out by these dedicated workers, and show their appreciation at every opportunity by recognizing linemen throughout Clewiston. Dated this day, 23rd of August, 2018. The recommended motion is to approve Lineman Appreciation Day proclamation.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Danny and Lynn, if you can make sure that, just to let them know how much we appreciate them. And maybe Al, if there's something in actually presenting the proclamation over at utilities, it would be really nice.
Sure.
And maybe
Yeah,
we could get a picture of that, so that just
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you, Mayor, we got a unique group over there. We've got a couple that are very seasoned, that have been with the city for a long time with a lot of knowledge. We've got a couple new linemen that have fit right in perfect. We got some young people there that are just excelling every time. It's a super group.
Okay.
I'd put them up against anybody.
Okay. Well, we're very thankful for them, and I know that the community is too, particularly when emergency conditions ensue. So we appreciate their hard work during Hurricane Irma. There's no doubt about that. So if y'all will do that on our behalf, we'd appreciate it very much.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
did you think on your feet, or does yours say
No, sir, I
something
thought
different than mine?
No,
You're covered nicely.
I did it
But
automatically.
you did well.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, if there's not be anything else on that, the next item we have on the agenda is consideration of employee medical insurance for the City of Clewiston employees, invitation to negotiate. The city advertised for proposals for employee medical insurance for City of Clewiston employees on July 26, 2018. The proposals were open on August the 16th. City manager.
Yes, Mayor. We've gone out to bid, first time in a while, on our employee health benefits, and we had two bidders. We had our longtime agent, Gloria Rosen, submitted a proposal, a renewal proposal, and we had the Florida League of Cities submit a proposal. We have, what you have, I think, in front of you is, I think the league offered us 4 different plans that we could pick from. They're different in services if you compare them to. We have the 59 plan is the plan that most all of our city employees is on. So we've compared their proposals to the 59 plan, and some are very similar, some are not as good. But what the city has narrowed down to the best of our ability is that Plan 3, United Healthcare Plan 3, is the most similar, we think, to the Plan 59 of Blue Care. So Sherry is probably getting the papers off the printer as we speak. She's got the financial comparisons to each plan. But so what we were going to propose is, if you decide to make a change to United Healthcare, is Plan 3 be the city's base plan, and if the employees wanted to buy up to a better plan, they could buy up to the number 2 plan. And before Sherry gets in here, I believe that the increase from last year to this year with Blue Care was 18.6%. I'm close. I'm not. It may not be exact. Mm-hmm. I want to say that the Plan 3 would be a 10% increase in premium.
Okay, I do believe that both parties are here
Can you
today.
check on Sherry for me?
I don't know if the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust, and of course Gloria as our agent, would like to say something at this time. Either one of you want to say, or just let the information that we have before us be sufficient with when Sherry brings us the information. Didn't know if anybody wishes to speak today or not. If you'll just introduce yourself
Thank
for
you,
the
Mayor.
record.
Aaron Carper from the Florida League of Cities. Nothing to add other than, I know that the staff did a lot of work in considering these plans and proposals, and, I'd be happy to follow up and answer any questions if council or, any staff is interested. But, we thank you for your consideration and, hope to have the opportunity to be partners together.
Okay, Aaron, can I ask you a question? How many cities are in the pool?
So currently, approximately 60 cities throughout the program, throughout the state, that goes from Pensacola all the way down through the Keys. With respect to membership in those areas, we do have a number of members in the southwest part of the state, including the Sanibels, Marco Islands, Esteros, Fort Myers Beaches of the world. So, we do extend, throughout the entire state.
Okay, so you said 60 cities, approximately?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, all right. Any other questions?
I do. Gloria, have you looked at what the proposal was from the League of Cities? Have you had an opportunity?
Yes.
Because I'd like to know, are these apples to apples?
No. So,
Gloria, if you'd like to come forward.
yes, I will. Gloria Rosen, insurance provider for the city. I had, let me start a different way. Our plans, Blue Cross, is all copay plans, meaning that there is zero deductible with the exception of 3 areas, which is ambulance, I think prosthetics and something else. I mean, I have the plan here. The rest of it is a copay plan with no deductible involved, nor any percentage that you have to pay out of your pocket. United's plans with this league, they all have either a 10 or a 20% copayment after a deductible for most of the things that are put down, all of the benefits, as well as the fact that, yes, you pay $15 copay for a doctor to primary, $30 for the specialist. But also on the side, which wasn't, I don't believe, explained, was that if there are excess things done at that doctor's office other than preventative once-a-year care, then if there's blood work or a strep test or whatever it may be, that you have to pay the difference. It's called balance billing. So it's not included in the $15 or $30 visits to the specialist. And yes, my rates are very high in comparison, and it's true. The other part is, though, I asked Al if he would give me a couple more days to work on this, and he said he didn't feel it was responsible for him to do so. And I asked him today. And I just learned that we're having the meeting yesterday evening, and so I wasn't able to prepare. And I didn't have access to United's plans nor their rates prior to the opening of the bid, whereas they had all of my plans and rates back in May. So, because I had to send them information to the town for them to give to the league. So I didn't have privilege to that. So I don't know if that
That's
answers.
correct. It's public record.
Yeah. And she was a agent of record, so
Right.
that's.
Yeah, so I couldn't compare the time. I didn't have the time to. Of course, it's public record.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Is this the comparison from Sherry? I'm sorry. It is so. Gloria, Christina, I know you asked her a question. Did you get your answer, or is there anything else?
Well,
that
I
you
did
want-
it. It appears
Okay.
as though they're not apples to apples. So.
Thank you.
The other thing I'd like to ask is, my understanding is when employees do have a problem, that we have Gloria here, person to person, face to face, usually, who is able to walk them through the labyrinth of insurance payments and trying to reconcile. What are we going to expect with United Healthcare?
And I would be happy to answer that question, Commissioner. And, I wouldn't even consider it United Healthcare. It would be the Florida League of Cities staff that would be servicing this account.
Sorry, I have United with the school, so I always just
That's-
default to
That's
that.
no problem at all.
apologize.
So, with respect to staff questions, we have a team in our office. It is in Orlando that does service eligibility, enrollments, billing, claims, questions that do need to be escalated. We have a staff that services our membership accordingly out of that. We also have account executives that do travel the state that will be meeting, that meets with all of our cities throughout the state that we work with on a monthly, quarterly basis based off of whatever need is determined by the city. We've got a wellness team that is also a part of this proposal where we have wellness coordinators that work with our individual cities to help mitigate risk long-term that do travel the state. As the director of the health program, I travel the state. So, with respect to questions and comments and concerns that do happen from the employee level, we've been doing a very good job throughout the state for many years in servicing employee concerns. I would just let our reputation speak to, any issues our membership has had over the years. With respect to the plan differentials, every plan is going to be different. We did not mirror this plan exactly after what you currently have with, the Blue Care. They are not identical. They are not the same. I would even argue that our plan, from an actuarial sense, does have more value to the city because it does include out-of-network benefit. And that is something that, you know, personally, as a spouse, a father, as a league person, that's what I have with my insurance. You know, I've been with United Healthcare before. I've been with Blue Cross. You know, something that's important to me in the event that I have a life-threatening issue, whether that be cancer, you know, a heart issue, whatever it be, or even my children. You know, United and Blue Cross both have great networks throughout the state. You know, I cannot discount, you know, Blue Cross or United. They do a great job throughout the state with their networking, their contracting, even, you know, nationwide. I do not want Blue Cross or United telling me which hospital or which provider I or my family needs to see in the event of an emergency or a very serious care situation. You know, I'm sorry I do this for a living. I don't want the insurance company, whoever it is, telling me what to do. So, you know, from a out-of-network standpoint, you know, this plan is not the same. It's actually better.
Okay. And again, the current plan that the city of Clewiston employees have is that it is only in network. Like you just said, you cannot go out of network to seek whoever the recommendation might be for a specialist or whoever you want to go to.
You can at your expense.
Okay.
And, you know, and I also cannot speak to what happens in and out of a doctor's office. I am not a doctor. I don't pretend to be. I'm not a billing person as well. You know, with respect to, you know, do doctors bill for things that they should or should not do? You know, I can go in for a doctor's visit. You know, I could even go for my physical. The minute I go in for a physical, no copay for my physical. The doctor asks me how I'm doing. I say, oh, I was out in the yard the other day, and oh, geez, my shoulder's bothering me. They got two options. That doctor can kind of poke around a little bit, see what's going on, write me a script, you know, make a note of it or two in the record and let me go on my way. They can also kind of pick around a little bit, write me a script and say, oh, guess what? That's a diagnostic visit now. And so I'm going to charge you not only for, you know, the free visit, but because we're doing something else, because it's now a diagnostic visit, I'm going to charge you that 30 or 40 or whatever, you know, dollar copay for that. I can't speak to what a doctor's office is going to do with respect to billing their patients. That is not my job.
Right.
What my job is to do from an insurance end and from a league end is to make sure that that doctor is doing things in accordance with our contract with United Healthcare. And if for whatever reason there is something that is done incorrectly, we've got a team in our office. That's what they do. They bulldog and they get United Healthcare to handle that accordingly.
Okay. All right. Okay. I know that we have the financial information before us, that the current plan under Blue Care, which is an HMO, is looking at an 18.6% increase. And as mentioned, it's only, since it is an HMO, it has to be in service, so to speak, or within a service area, or providers, within service providers. The league is a Florida League of Cities, as mentioned, has a wonderful reputation. The Florida Municipal Insurance Trust, I believe, has served many cities well. And the plan that they're offering us is I guess it's a PPO. It's not an HMO. It's a PPO for in service and out of service area, where the employees can decide what they would like to do. So, and it is at a 10% increase of what we have today. So is there any discussion, any other questions by any of the other commissioners? I know that staff has prepared this information and has looked at the options as we've requested to see what would be in the best interest of not only our employees but as the city, from also a budgetary standpoint. Al, do you believe as a city manager in having to know about insurance and dealing with insurance, do you believe that going from what we currently have, the program that we currently have, to a league program would be detrimental to our city employees and to our staff?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Like I said, my dealings with the league, the folks up there are very easy to work with. They are fully staffed to help. Now, that being said, Gloria has provided great service to the city for a long time. Mm-hmm. So But would it be detriment? Not, I don't think so at all.
Okay.
As a manager, I would say no.
All right.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Sherry, the difference between 10% and 18%.
I guess these
You
two.
all have the sheet before you that had the different plans.
Is this the sheet?
Yes, sir. And if you look down at the bottom, Plan 3 is what I believe that the mayor is referring to with United Healthcare at a 10%. The first column is what we currently have, and that's based upon our current employee staffing, our current budget. And then as we talked about during the budget, I had no idea what to expect. So I budgeted like 20% just to make sure. That's what the second column reflects, where it says budgeted. That's how much money that I budgeted for that. So then you have the Plan 2 and Plan 3. So Plan 3 at 10%, the difference between that and the far corner, the 18.62% is actually $79,609. Now there would be, because plan, in order to get the 18.62, if we stayed with HMO 59, there would be a small savings in the dental and the long-term disability. I did not spend the time because, as you know, I was getting ready for the other budgets, and I did not go back and actually calculate the difference, other than to note that it wasn't a huge difference. You know, it's not going to affect it that significantly.
I'm not sure if all of you saw it, but Henry County just switched to United Health.
Yeah, yeah. And I think some of the larger employers, you said the school boards with United Healthcare, and some of the other larger employers are with United Healthcare as well.
Yeah, U.S. Sugar is as well.
Okay.
So it's $80,000 annually.
The difference between the two plans, if we were to go with the 18.62, the Blue Cross, or if we chose Plan 3 as our base plan with United,
Right.
yes, sir, it's roughly an $80,000 difference.
Okay.
A little less because we would be changing our dental and our
Right, I understand.
long-term.
Mayor,
Yes.
I have a question. What kind of, I guess the gentleman in the back can ask, what kind of increases have you had, in the last 5 years? This year's a 10%, but what has it been? Do you have those figures where maybe in the last 3 years, maybe you can help us out to see how it's moving, what direction it's moving? And because we're always expecting an increase on our health insurance. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. Get an idea of, your experience has been in the last, just go back maybe 3 years. What kind of increases have you been seeing? Do you have that information?
And yes, Commissioner, I do have that information. And, as the director of the health program at the League of Cities, I have access to, the program for the last several years. And the unique part of our program is that the city of Clewiston would not be on their own for their own individual claims experience. You would be pooled with the rest of the other groups of the FMIT, and, we pool our resources and accordingly together. Our wellness program, we are very proud of the program that we have in place, the Hometown Health Program, that is designed to help mitigate cost long term. And this is a program that we have been running, and we've got staff that, it's a fully funded program that we offer. And so it's nothing that's additional to y'all, but what it is designed to do is to help mitigate long-term risk and the costs associated with such. And so as you see increases, medical care, no matter what you hear in the news, unfortunately it's not going down anytime soon. And so you're kind of budgeting for increases each year, and it's kind of like, well, what are those going to be year in and year out? Medical trend, or kind of that inflation, or I like to call it the cost of milk and eggs each year, kind of goes up a little bit each year. On healthcare, it's been about 7, 8, 9% the last few years. Give or take who you talk to, it's somewhere in that range. Our program has run consistently in the renewals that our small groups like yourself are getting, because you are not experience rated, because of HIPAA, we're not able to access specific claims information and use those accordingly. So we group everything. Everything is grouped together, and our increases have been a couple of points at the minimum better than trend over the last few years. This year, our pool increase was in the very, very low single digits. So, for example, if the city of Clewiston would have come aboard to our program last year, your increase would have been somewhere in the 1%, 2%, 3% range, not 18%, not 10%. The only reason why it's 10% this year is because we needed to take the information that we received from your city staff, put it into the modeling software that our actuary uses, and that's a rate that the actuary put out based off of your demographic experience. Next year, I would, come before you, and I would be surprised if I would have anything anywhere near the double-digit range. That's just not how this program runs. We are an association. Our program was created by cities for cities, and I don't make any profit. We don't make any profit if the city of Clewiston decides to come aboard with y'all or with us or not. We're just here at the end of the day to help in any way we can.
Okay.
And as far as making the transition, you'll have a you send a team here for enrollment, so everybody understands, the new program, and so you'll have a team here.
Yes, Commissioner. We would have a team. I would be actually leading that team. I would be leading that team at the moment because our account executive is a little pregnant right now. It's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit difficult for her to be traveling.
Well, you're asking on site, not on site. It's going to be by phone.
No, I'll be here.
No,
I'll be here on
I'm
site.
talking about the initial enrollment.
The initial open enrollment meetings.
But then after that,
We will be here as needed by city staff to talk with, city staff. United Healthcare, what United Healthcare is very good at doing, and why the league has partnered with United Healthcare, is they have an excellent 1-800 customer service number. About 97, 98% of the questions and concerns, can I find a doctor? Or, hey, geez, why did this happen this way? Can be addressed through that hotline. Yeah. The other 2%, we got a staff that's what they do, and that's what they answer those questions. And if we are league people. If it comes to the point where we need to be on site, weekly or biweekly, because there's so many influx of problems and questions and so forth, we'll do what we need to do. But in trusting the league and somebody that has been in this program for 7-8 years, it's just things do work very well together.
And I really believe that the City of Clewiston employees are not any different than any other health insurance employees or employees that are covered by health insurance. I mean, we all know how to get on a computer. We all know how to talk to people. We all know how to call. We all have doctors that help us and nurses that help us. And I cannot believe that through the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust that the City of Clewiston would not be served well after hearing what you have to say about the pool and the 60 cities that are involved, and the fact that you're in Orlando and you're not that far away. And I know it's only a phone call away. And the bottom line is that we have to look at $80,000 worth of savings in 1 year, and we know what Aaron has just said, that based on the historical, we're looking at 1% to 3%. And I know outside, that's what the historical's been so far.
The last few years, Mayor, and I don't want to, publicly paint myself in a position where I'm going to do that.
And I understand that that's not for the future. It's just that's where it's been, right?
It's been in the low to mid single digits the last few years, and as long as I've been here.
I have personal experience of being with agents before and going to a pool, and certainly the benefits have not diminished in any way, and the cost has stayed consistent and has not fluctuated as it had in the past when we were not in a pool. So I've seen that.
and I need to restate myself. We had United Healthcare. We are now Blue Cross and Blue Shield at the school board.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. We changed.
How long has the league been in the medical insurance business?
We've been in
Last year.
We've been about 20 years, Commissioner.
Years?
Pretty lucky. So.
All right. Is there any other comments or discussion that in regards to the consideration of employee medical insurance for the City of Clewiston employees? We have 2 bids, one from our long-term agent, Gloria Rosen, under Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is a Blue Care HMO plan, And the second proposal is from the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust, which is part of the Florida League of Cities, under a PPO plan under United Healthcare, with a cost savings to the city in its first year of close to $80,000.
And the recommendation from staff, Mayor, is
The recommendation from staff would be to make Plan 3 our base plan, which we found to be the most comparable to the 59 plan. And if the employees wanted to purchase additional coverage, they could pay the difference to be entered into the Plan 2.
So the recommendation is for Florida Municipal Insurance Trust. Is there a motion?
motion?
I have is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
At the
Have-
same time as that second, discussion-wise.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Have a motion and a second, go ahead.
Well, I absolutely don't think we can do anything but go the way we're going. At that same time, I want to thank Gloria for everything she's done for the city, done for me personally, by answering phone calls and stuff. Nothing absolutely personal, but certainly been a great person.
Right. There's
on
no
the
doubt
phone.
of that, yeah.
That's all I got.
Great advocate for the
Employees.
employees, and I just, that personal goes a long way with me. It's a big thing for me. If we had to pay somebody to do what Gloria did for our employees, we'd be looking at paying somebody, $30,000 a year.
Right.
I just, and it makes me uneasy to,
I guess-
we've taken a lot away from our employees, and we,
Well, I don't think we're taking anything away from our employees. I think that they're going to benefit from being part of a pool and having the Florida League of Cities through the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust help our employee in our city, as we've seen over the years that the Florida League of Cities has been there when we've needed them.
understand that we're
yeah.
losing that.
Okay. Well, I don't see we're losing her because she's still going to be, maybe not on health insurance, but she certainly manages our pension plan.
And also the dental, the life, I'm still.
Okay. Okay. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, at this time, any persons allowed to speak on any matter pertaining to city business? I don't believe there's any updates from anybody. Okay, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to adjourn and second. We're adjourned, and we'll take a 5-minute break and then move into our utilities budget